Hello, I hope this message finds you well. I wanted to make a video today about labeling. And what I mean by labeling is any way we sort of diagnose ourselves with a certain reality. So it could be a medical diagnosis, could be a mental health diagnosis, could be a personality type, a tendency we have, any kind of position we ascribe to ourselves that potentially seems fixed. And I notice in our culture right now, especially among the youngest generation, there's a kind of fascination with labeling. It seems that it gives people a sense of belonging that they feel they won't have otherwise. So people are keen to, adopt a gender identity, a mental health diagnosis. Like I said earlier, I have ADHD, I have OCD, whatever. They're coming out with these sort of descriptions. Um, and over time, it builds a kind of armor or artifice beneath which the authentic self can be obscured. So I noticed that in the culture. On the flip side, especially in spiritual circles, there can be a response in the opposite extreme, which is to do away with all labels and it's all bliss, it's all peace, it's all flow, whatever. Under this mode of perceiving reality, we would say, I don't have an astrological sign, I am all signs. Or I don't have a personality type, I see elements of all of them in myself, or whatever. And that too can have its own sort of danger. It is what we call spiritual bypassing, where we're refusing to engage with the atomic level of the self, which is a level of truth for all of us. We do have access to these deeper and more universal planes of existence, but also are individual beings with definite characteristics in time. And so what I would like to propose in this video to sort of reconcile these two extremes is that we treat labels more as moments of consolidation which have a purpose of moving us forward in some way. So I'll describe more what I mean by that. The metaphor or image that comes to me for this is so I'm a rock climber, and in rock climbing, there's a move that we call a mantle, which is where you get your hand or forearm or some part of your body on top of a ledge, and then you press up onto it so that you can you can leverage your entire weight over it and usually step on it to then get your whole body higher than you could previously. So again, that's called a mantle. And I think we should use labels like mantles, like mantling. That is, they are momentary truths that help us ascend to some more nuanced or functional stage of development. So, for example, it may be true in a moment that one has ADHD or OCD, these mental diagnoses I offered. Or it may be true that one sees themselves as a certain Enneagram personality type at the exclusion of the others, things like that. But it's also true that in the flow of time, we are always changing and evolving, and those stages turn out to be ephemeral. And so naming oneself, labeling oneself in this way can expedite this process of mantling us toward the future. It's a moment of clarification. This is who I am now. It's not who I'll always be. But recognizing who I am and claiming it for myself provides a kind of power which can help me become something else. So I think that is the way labels should be used, as these tools of growth. And, in just the same way as denying any other reality inhibits our growth, seeing that we have approximations of any kind of label and kind of eliding that is not going to serve our growth either. So if it is true in a moment that we align with most traits of an eating disorder or something like that, but we don't want to say it for fear of what it would mean, then that's impeding our growth just as much as it would if we became kind of fixed by that label and trapped within it. So again, labels are these things we use in a moment to sort of leapfrog to another version, another evolution of ourselves. And they also help, communicate us to other beings. So we are stuck with the limited function of language in this reality, and someone else has, a vague impression of what an eating disorder means. So when I say I have one, they go, I understand, at least the outline, and then they can come to my aid with more definition and more exactitude. So that's another function of the label. It serves to clarify who we are at a moment in order that we might move past it, and it also serves to declare ourselves to another in order that they might help us. Both of these functions expedite growth. They lead to growth. So that is the spirit in which I think labeling should be used. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a blessed day. Goodbye.